Yo, what's going on, good people? This is Smitty on behalf of Sim Standard. Um, and in this video here, I wanted to hit on a couple of points here. Um, First of all, from the gameplay footage, in my opinion, and also from what I actually have seen between Madden 11 and Madden 12, it's a huge upgrade. You know what I'm saying? And I know the main things that they honestly fixed were the suction, where the suction and the warping and the morphing, things of that nature. Those are the major issues that they dramatically reduced, which I could definitely say is a huge improvement, and as well as the consecutive hit tackling. Those are all great improvements in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? And J Music has said in one of his videos that basically they improved upon those two things, but what kind of improvements were they? Basically, he just said, but what did they do? What did they honestly improve? So what? They did those two things. Well, the so what part is this. Apex probably had over 100 videos talking about morphing, warping, shifting, and all that stuff. Versus probably has well over 100 videos talking about the same things. There are people on YouTube right now that have videos up talking about those issues, and that's the only video they have. People have accounts, they only have like 2 videos talking about Madden flaws, and they're talking about those kind of issues, shifting and warping and things of that nature. Those main gameplay issues that were absolutely ridiculously hindering the gameplay. And to see these guys honestly take the strides in addressing it is huge. You know what I'm saying? It's huge. And I mean, I know some people are going to have that blind hatred, but you got to take the hate vision goggles off, man. You got to take them off. And honestly look at the game and say, well, you know what? I got to give them their props. They're honestly taking steps in the right direction. None of us has said that Madden's completely fixed. They fixed everything. The game's 110%. Let's go out and buy it. None of us said that. But the thing that we are saying, and that we honestly are seeing, is gameplay improvement. We've all said, I said in my last video what issues are still lingering and what questions have not been answered. I said if ratings don't mean anything, then the dynamic player performance won't mean jack. So those are all valid points. We just need to see, we're gonna find out once there's an honest demo out for us to play and do breakdowns off of. Then we'll be able to discover those things. But until then, we can only go from what we see, because we weren't at E3. We weren't all there. So we have no idea. We can only go from what we see on screen, what gameplay that we view. So, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I can understand that people are just going to blindly hate the game regardless until it's completely fixed. That's perfectly understandable, because this is 7 years. It's 6 years of abuse. If you're getting abused for 6 years, on the 7th year, that doesn't automatically mean that, just because somebody says, hey, you know what, I went to rehab, I turned my life around, I'm not going to be abusive anymore. That don't mean you're going to believe them. Just because they show 1 or 2 signs of life, that don't mean you're going to honestly believe it. So it's the same deal here. You don't believe, that's fine. That's perfectly okay. But at least understand that this is improvement in the right direction. They're taking steps in the right path. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, now, another thing I wanted to hit on. As you see, this is all pro football. 2K8. Now, people were saying, some of the comments that I seen, and I spoke with J Music about it, as well. He had said that, well, look at the gameplay. Yeah, you see the gameplay's playing good. Well, it's on rookie. They're playing it on rookie. They're playing it on pro. Now, funny thing is, 4 years ago, when this game was showcased at E3, how many of you guys were out saying, well, the game's on rookie, the game's on pro, that's why it looks good? Well, nobody's saying any of that at all. People were saying that the gameplay was on point, the gameplay was solid. You know what I'm saying? Nobody had any of that negativity to say. But let me just show you guys something. When you adjust sliders, okay? When you're playing a game on rookie, and I'm pretty sure this is how it is in Madden as well. the control of the game is 100% in your favor. So that means all the control, everything that stands behind blocking, passing, running, catching, coverage, pursuit, all these different things are going to be in the user's favor. And as you adjust it accordingly, you see how it goes out. 75%, 50%, 25%. That's what happens. When you put the majority control in the computer's hands, that's when things go wrong. Now, I'm not excusing morphing and shifting and all that, but I'm saying, no, the gameplay is going to be heavily favorable for the computer on all aspects. You know, when it comes to your coverage in the backfield, when it comes to pursuit, when it comes to tackling, all those things are going to be in the computer's favor. It's the same thing. It's the same thing in NFL 2K5. It's the same thing in, heck, we could talk about recently released game, NBA 2K11. Put the game on Hall of Fame with the default sliders on there. Everybody and their mama on the computer side can hit shots. Guys that you know can't hit an outside shot will be hitting shots. Like Kendrick Perkins will be hitting jumpers. Ben Wallace will be hitting jumpers with ease. You can contest a shot and he'll hit. They'll be hitting absolutely everything. And that'll upset people. You know why it's going to upset people? Because you're giving the computer favorable, you're giving them favor over the control of the game, aka Skynet. So Skynet doesn't just account for EA, it accounts for 2K as well, and any other game where it's set up like this. That's why people make custom slider sets, like Versus and many other people. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that people have to understand. You know what I'm saying? Is that when you're using slider sets and things of that nature, or what have you, I mean, when you play the game and you just let the game play the way it is, that's what's going to happen to you. You're going to get robbed, so don't get mad at that. And don't try and, once again, be blinded by the hate and just say like, oh, well, it's only looking good because it's on easy. That's with any game. And also the whole 3-year plan thing. Let me tell you guys something. The whole 3-year plan thing. EA put it in their blog site. They didn't tell us, they didn't tell me, they didn't tell any of us what specifically the 3-year plan is. But one thing that I will tell you is that, and this game is a perfect testament of that. This game is a perfect testament of it. This game had a plan. You think 2K honestly was just going to make just the one game, have no franchise mode, no none of that? No, they didn't continue on with their game plan because the game didn't sell. So obviously they didn't continue on with their plan that they had. You see what I mean? So just because somebody doesn't publicize something, it doesn't mean that they got a hidden agenda. EA has a plan, and they're saying that because they know that they're playing from behind. They're trying to regain the consumer trust. And I'm gonna end it with this last example. I mean, not example, but point. Peter Moore, from what Azura had pointed out, Peter Moore has said that the casual gamer, they're going for the casual gamer. They're trying to get the casual gamer back. Now, how do you think they're going to get the casual gamer back? You know what I'm saying? They're going to have to go back to the mechanic. They're going to have to go back to the mechanics that they use to sell Madden to get those 5-6 million sales. How did they get those sales? And I'm talking about back like on the PS2 and everything. They got to go back to the original formula of success. Make the game for the casual users, but add the complex elements that make it simulation for the sim heads. And I won't go all the way back in time to Genesis days and everything, but we'll take it from Madden. Let's go from Madden 03. Before Madden 03, what was the big innovation? Hot routes. Madden 03 came in, you had hot routes, you had custom slider sets, you could create your own playbook, you could create your own plays. You know what I'm saying? You had double hit tackling for the first time. You had consecutive hit tackling as well. But then, and you had franchise mode, of course. But then you move forward from there, man. In 04 and 05, you had offensive and defensive playmaker controls. You had more tackling animations. You had more, you had more animations put into the game, of course. But then they had the biggest feature of all, and I'm just spanning over both years, 04 and 05 here. You had the owner mode, where you could create a stadium. I mean, yeah, you could create a new stadium. You could renovate the current stadium your team was in. You could set ticket prices as high or as low as you want. You could have fan appreciation days. You could even, heck, you could even relocate your team out of the city. You know what I mean? Like, they had all those different things on top of what you had in your typical franchise mode. All those other functions. And the game sold. So then for the complex user, you can make all your coverage assignments. You could, position, place people where you want, use the defensive playmaker control, make all those audible switches that you wanted to for coverage and on offense. And for the casual gamer, you just picked up the sticks and played the game the way it was and had fun with it. And that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. That's what they're trying to get back to, that element. You know what I'm saying? And this is a good start. Now, we're going to see what they do in their next upcoming titles, but, you know what I'm saying? But for this title right now, they honestly are taking steps in the right direction. So, all I'm saying is that I understand people have a lot of hate and animosity towards this game, but also you got to take off the hate. You got to take off the hate vision goggles, man, and honestly see that this game is playing at a solid pace. It's very solid. You know what I mean? All Pro Football and NFL 2K5 are historic football games, no question. Those games will forever have a place in history for the greatness that those games were. You know what I'm saying? But we have to be realistic with the fact that EA honestly is taking strides in the right direction. You know what I mean? So, on that note, I'm going to end this video on, on that tip. And one last thing I just want to say, man, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to the whole entire community for all the comments, the negative comments, the positive comments, everything you guys are saying, you know what I mean? I mean, it's fine to voice how you feel, because at the end of the day, what we're all out to do is let the game companies know what they need to improve on their games. That's the bottom line. You know what I mean? And you can voice however you personally feel. That's perfectly fine by me. So, But also, Jay, chillax with saying that you know more football than all of us or anyone for that matter. You know what I'm saying? You have a nice knowledge of football and everything like that, but don't try and make yourself up like you're some kind of Zen master over football. So, chillax, bruh, okay? We respect what you're doing with 2K5, but relax, alright? Alright, man. Alright, y'all. This is Smitty, and I shall holla at y'all later. Peace out.